Good morning, students. I Neelam am here. Today, I am going to teach you chapter number 1, History, Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. So, first of all, I would like to tell you some of the keywords, word meaning. Cartographer, that is a person who makes maps. And archive is a place where documents and manuscripts are stored. Today, all national and state governments have archives where they keep all their old official records and transcriptions. And habitat, it refers to the environment of a region and the social and economic lifestyle of its residents. And pattern, it this is an influential wealthy individual who supports another person like an artist, a craft person, a learned or a noble. And chronicles, this is a factual written account of important or historical events in the order of their occurrence. And sermons, a talk on a religious or moral subject, especially on given during a church service and based on a passage from the Bible. Gospels, its meaning is the teaching of Christ. Now, you are looking at this map number 1, and this is map number 2. Yes, I think you have identified map number 2. Yes, you are right. This is of India, the subcontinent from the early 18th century Atlas. Now let's start. When you look at this map number 1 and map number 2, map 1 was made in 1154 CE by the Arab geographer Al-Adrisi. The section reproduced here is a detail of the Indian subcontinent from his larger map of the world. Map number 2 was made in the 1720s by a French cartographer. Cartographer, already you know its meaning, a person who makes maps. The two maps are quite different even though they are of the same area. In Al-Adrisi's map, South India is where we expect. This map is made by Al-Adrisi. Here, South India is where we expect to find North India. When you look at map of India, and this side is north and this is here south. So here Sri Lanka is shown in the north. When you reverse this map, this is Sri Lanka. Yes, but in this map it is in the north, but it is supposed to be in the south. Okay, then South India is where we would expect to find North India, and Sri Lanka is the island at the top. Place names are marked in Arabic. And this language, yes, places are marked in Arabic language. Then, and there are some well-known names like Kannauj in Uttar Pradesh spelled in the map as Konauj. Map 2 was made nearly 600 years after map number 1, during which time information about the subcontinent had changed considerably. This map seems more familiar to us, and the coastal areas in particular are surprisingly detailed. This map was used by European sailors and merchants on their voyages जिसको बोलते हैं आप समुद्री यात्रा. Then look at the areas in the interior of the subcontinent on map number 2. Are they as detailed as those on the coast? No. The areas in the interior of the subcontinent on map number 2 are not as detailed as those on the coast. Here, in coastal areas, detail is too much here given of the coastal areas. Detail, too much detail, it is given in this map number 2. Then follow the course of the river Ganga and see how it is shown. Why do you think there is a difference in the level of detail and accuracy between the coastal and inland areas in this map? Here we see that the European sailors and merchants who used this map did not go to the inland places of the subcontinent as much as they interacted with the coastal areas. They interacted with these coastal areas. Therefore, the level of the detail and accuracy of the coastal areas is better than the inland areas in this map. Now, equally important is the fact that the science of cartography differed in the two periods. When historians read documents, maps, and text from the past, they have to be sensitive to the different historical backgrounds, the contexts in which information about the past was produced, new and old terminologies. If the context in which information is produced changes with time, what about language and meanings? Historical records exist in a variety of languages, which have changed considerably over the years. Medieval Persian, for example, is different from modern Persian. As you have learned about ancient history in your earlier classes, now it's going modern history, and in between there was a period which was called medieval history, and that is today we are learning. The difference is not just with the regard to grammar and vocabulary, the meaning of words also changed over time. Take the term Hindustan, for example. Today we understand it as India. जैसे ही हिंदुस्तान का नाम आता है तो हमें पता चलता है ना कि ये इंडिया की बात हो रही है. The modern nation state, when the term was used in the 13th century by Mina Siraj, a chronicler who wrote in Persian, he meant the areas of Punjab, Haryana, and the lands between the Ganga and Yamuna. He used the term in a political sense for lands that were a part of the dominions of the Delhi Sultan. The areas included in this term shifted with the extent of the Sultanate, but the term never included South India. By contrast, in the early 16th century, Babur used Hindustan to describe the geography, the fauna, and the culture of the inhabitants of the subcontinent. As we will see later in this chapter, this was somewhat similar to the way the 14th century poet Amir Khusro used the word Hind. While the idea of the geographical and cultural entity like India did exist, the term Hindustan did not carry the political and national meanings which we associate with it today. Historians today have to be careful about the terms they use because they meant different things in the past. Take, for example, a simple term like foreigner. फॉरेनर वर्ड आते ही आप हमें पता लगे कि इसका मीनिंग क्या है, विदेशी. इट इज यूज टुडे टू मीन समवन हु इज नॉट एन इंडियन. In the medieval history period, a foreigner was any stranger. आजकल हम कहते हैं ना कि फॉरेनर है, कोई विदेशी है, किसी अदर कंट्री का है, लेकिन मिडीवियल पीरियड, एनिशेंट हिस्ट्री के बाद मिडीवियल पीरियड था, उसमें जो मीनिंग था फॉरेनर का, दैट वाज एनी स्ट्रेंजर, कोई भी अजनबी, हु अपीयर्ड से इन अ गिवन विलेज, someone who was not a part of that society or culture. In हिंदी द टर्म परदेसी, जब कोई परदेसी होता है मीन्स परदेसी को ही फॉरेनर कहा जाता था मिडीवल पीरियड में. माइट टू बी यूज टू डिस्क्राइब सच ए पर्सन इन पर्शियन अजनबी, अजनबी जिसको हम नहीं जानते हैं. Then a city dweller therefore might have regarded a forest dweller as a foreigner. But two peasants living in the same village were not foreigners to each other, even though they may had different religious or caste backgrounds. Historians and their sources. नाउ हिस्टोरियंस, अब जो भी पास्ट इवेंट को जब स्टडी किया जाएगा तो वो कौन करता है? हिस्टोरियन, ए पर्सन हु स्टडीज पास्ट इवेंट, इसको हम बोलते हैं हिस्टोरियन. Historian use different type of sources to learn about the past depending upon the period of their study and the nature of their investigation. Last year, for example, you read about rulers of the Gupta dynasty and Harshvardhana. In this book, we will read about the following 1000 years from roughly 700 to 1750s. हम कौन कौन से ईयर्स के बारे में सीखेंगे कि इन ईयर्स के बीच में क्या क्या हुआ. You will notice some continuity in the sources used by historians for the study of this period. They still rely on coins, inscriptions, architectures, and textual records for information. But there is also considerable discontinuity. The number and variety of textual records increased dramatically during this period. They slowly displayed other types of available information. Through this period, paper gradually became cheaper and more widely available. These medieval period में क्या हुआ कि जो पेपर था वो बहुत ही चीपर हो गया था और वाइड एंड मोर वाइडली अवेलेबल भी था. सो वैल्यू ऑफ पेपर नाउ ए डेज, द वैल्यू ऑफ पेपर in the middle of the 13th century, a scholar wanted to copy a book, but he did not have enough paper, so he washed the writing of a manuscript. He did not want dried the paper and used it. A century later, if you bought some food in the market, you could be lucky and have the shopkeeper wrap it for you in some paper. When was paper more expensive and easily available? It was in the 13th. Here is what it was in the 13th or the 14th century. You will find कि paper was more expensive during 13th century and easily available in the 14th century. 13th century में जो पेपर था बहुत एक्सपेंसिव था, महंगा था, लेकिन 14th सेंचुरी में ये इजीली अवेलेबल भी था और चीप भी था. ओके, सो पीपल यूज्ड इट टू राइट. अब पेपर है, आपको भी पता है, जैसे ये भी पेपर है मेरे पास, ये भी पेपर है ना, तो इट इज यूज टू राइट होली टेक्स्ट, क्रॉनिकल्स ऑफ रूलर्स, ईयर बाय ईयर. जैसे ही किसी रूलर का जो रूल होता था तो उनको ऑर्डर में लिखा गया. लेटर्स एंड टीचिंग्स ऑफ सेंट्स, पिटिशंस एंड जुडिशियल रिकॉर्ड्स, एंड फॉर रजिस्टर्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स एंड टैक्सेस. Manuscripts were collected by wealthy people, rulers, monasteries, and temples. They were placed in libraries and archives. Archives, I have told you its meaning. Archive, it is a place where documents and manuscripts are stored. Today, all national and state governments have archives where they keep all their old official records and transactions. These manuscripts and documents provide a lot of detailed information टू हिस्टोरियंस. अब हिस्टोरियन है जो हिस्ट्री को स्टडी कर रहा है, तो वो तभी हिस्ट्री को स्टडी करेगा ना जब उसके पास डिटेल्ड इंफॉर्मेशन होगी. बट दे आर ऑल्सो डिफिकल्ट टू यूज. देयर वॉज नो प्रिंटिंग प्रेस इन दोज डेज, सो scribes copied manuscripts by hand. If you have ever copied a friend's homework, you would know that this is not a simple exercise. Sometimes you can't read your friend's handwriting, and are forced to guess what is written. आप भी कई बार आपका काम कंप्लीट नहीं होता तो आप किसी बच्चे की नोटबुक लेते हो ना, किसी अपने फ्रेंड्स की, तो कई बार किसी फ्रेंड की तो राइटिंग बहुत अच्छी होती है, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड, और कई बार राइटिंग अच्छी नहीं होती है, तो आप गैस लगाते हो कि ये यही लिखा होगा, है ना. As a result, there are smaller but significant differences in your copy of your friend's work. Manuscript copying in somewhat similar as scribes copied manuscripts. Scribes were the person who copied manuscripts. They also introduced small changes, a word here, a sentence there. These small differences grew over centuries of copying until manuscripts of the here. This person is scribe and he is copying manuscript. A painting or a scribe making a copy of a manuscript. This painting is only 10.5 centimeter by 7.1 centimeter in size. Because of its size, it is called a miniature. Miniature paintings were sometimes used to illustrate the text of manuscripts. They were so beautiful that later collectors often took the manuscripts apart and sold just the miniatures. Here, same text became substantially different from one another. This is a serious problem because we rarely find the original manuscript of the author today. We are totally dependent upon the copies made by later scribes. As a result, historians have to read different manuscript versions of the same text to guess what the author had originally written. On occasion, authors revised their chronicles at different times. The 14th century chronicles, Ziauddin Baron wrote his chronicle first in 1356 and another version 2 years later. The two differ from each other, but historians did not know about the existence of the first version. This is first version. Until the 1960s, it remained lost in large library collections. Here, when you look at these two different kind of handwriting, could make the reading of Persian and Arabic difficult. The Nastaliq style. Here this is called Nastaliq style. On the left is cursive and easy to read. On this left side, this is right, sorry, this is right and this is left. The Nastaliq style on the left is cursive and easy to understand. The Shikaste on the, this is called Shikaste. On the right is denser and more difficult. It is very denser. पास बिल्कुल पास लिखा हुआ है. It is very denser and more difficult to read. But this is Nastaliq style on the left is cursive and very easy to understand. So in the next video, we will learn about new social and political groups. Thank you. Have a nice day.